Hello and welcome. It is currently 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the 13th of April 2021. My name is Derek and this is the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades, and amongst the like, each his own risk and of course their own reward. In this video, we're going to go over silver and we'll go with Doji or Dog. There's a lot of ways of pronouncing that cryptocurrency. These will be the two that I'll look at in this video, but there's going to be more. Actually going to ask for some help in this video if anyone can help me. And that's regarding people who know things about computers and Macintosh. And also go over a silver, my next precious metals purchase, and just really what it means when you play the market and the levels get to what it is. And let's go over that pretty much now. And I'll go over first that of computers. And what I'm looking to get is an Apple computer. I have never ever owned one. I'm going to go over the history of my computers just so you get an idea of what I'm looking at and what I know. And Amazon, I can buy Amazon with Bitcoin very easily. And if you want to know how and you don't, let me know. If you want, let me know and I'll let you know. Um, but with that being said, I'm going to be using this on probably what will be a 60-inch TV screen. So something I use HDMI cords. But I'm probably going to buy about a 60-inch TV. I'm looking at the shape, the size that I need based on what my living room size is. Around that size is about the perfect images. And that goes in one of my predictions I'm going to go over, not in this video, but I'll just go over quickly. How I expect at least sporting events to look, where you're going to need the bigger TVs, because it's almost going to be with the wider cameras. Again, I can see the image in my head, so I'll be getting the most cheapest of computers or TVs for that type of future, which will be the next few years. But yeah, I'm gonna get a 60 or so inch, 5 6 feet wide television. I'm gonna want to plug to watch regular television and the computer in. And for price, 2,700. Oh geez, I mean it comes with a monitor. I don't really want that. I mean, I'll pay it, but I don't really want to spend that. Like 600, 1,000, whatever. That's easy. And I'm gonna, especially when you show my next gold and silver purchase. That's not the most largest of items, but I. And the thing about this too is I don't. It's my seeing is really weird. I'm literally illiterate reading any book, anything small, reading a cell phone, even regular like 14-inch laptops. I have to put glasses on to actually read it. And it works, but I'm looking at like a 3.5 inch wide television that I use this, and I don't need to put them on. I can see it very fine. I don't know how well. Although my sister came over once with a laptop, with a Mac computer, and it wasn't so bad. So I don't know. Maybe it might work. So maybe one idea I might have to just go somewhere and actually look at those. And if I can, or someone who's got one of this size, but I do like the bigger sizes too. So I kind of want something I can plug in to a much bigger television. Then all whatever accessories I might need. And how's this going to work? Because I know if I get a Mac, I might be able to do a lot of cool things with videos. So that would be just a cool little thing. So if you know any little gadgets, things like that, that would just be magnificent. So moving on, as far as my next purchase for precious metals is concerned, I'm in a very interesting position because, well, I mean, cryptocurrencies, especially Theta, but mainly all the cryptocurrencies have had spectacular gains over the last many months. To the point, the amount of X portfolio, at least I'm in position. I'm sure a lot of other people watching this are too, depending on how they're trading and holding their crypto portfolios. But along the way, I'm at the stage where my percentage is just way too high, and just a small buy is like, at least do that. I mean, I don't think cryptos are going to go down anytime soon, so I don't want to buy much gold and silver, and this isn't much. And yet, when I started playing cryptocurrencies, I put in Canadian dollars really about $1,000. So my original stake will be a roll of Canadian polar bears and club silver coins from 2015. I'm also, again, that's like $1,000 Canadian. And then you also got this Canadian silver comes to $1,087. Let me just try and make. Well, I'll just put this. I mean, you can't see the coin that way, but the roll of the 1 ounce maples. That's $3,949. But it's not. It's actually $3,899 because it's 50 cents off per coin. So they'll give me $50 off on top of it. So 100 ounces there, 5 different rolls. Again, a roll of 2012. Oh, I love that coin, the Canadian Cougar coin. It's a cool coin. As well as an ounce of gold. Nice little coin in here. And then an 8 gram coin, so a little over 1.25 ounces of gold. So this is like close to a $10,000 order. Yet, you get to a stage where, again, like the theta goes from 10 cents to $13, and Bitcoin goes up to 60,000. Litecoin's holding in there well over 250. Oh, they're all going up. I mean, your portfolio can go from like very little to oh my goodness, and a lot of people are in that position as well. And when I first got into precious metals, it was buying two here. And then every time I'd physically go to the store, I mean, because you're not dealing with shipping prices and everything, you can buy smaller amounts, 5 here, 3 here, 10 there, for ounces that is. And then, of course, at the store, I'd be buying constitutional silver oftentimes, so maybe I buy a bunch of quarters or dollars or dimes and half dollars, whatnot. And then you get into ordering like 20 here and 50 there and 10 there and 30 there. And then the numbers get to 50-ounce orders and 60-ounce orders, and now you can see. And this is looking at them thinking, oh my goodness, this is a small order for me. What's going to happen when my target levels come into play? So as far as, again, I want to go over my experience on computers before I get into this, because that's part of also where I'm at for what I'm going to need with the computer. What do I do on my computer? Well, obviously I look at these charts and I trade on the market. I like to watch videos like a lot of other people do, whatever format, YouTube and wherever else it might come from. I do a lot of spreadsheet work, obviously. So that it's got, and I know the Macs aren't the greatest, but for me, I mean, I'm using LibreOffice as it is. So I mean, haven't been too happy with it. So I'm sure I mean, spreadsheet's just going to work. All I end up doing is just doing like formulas equals this plus one, and this formula plus that formula, that divided by that, and if that's greater than 20, do that. If not, do that. Stuff like that. And so yeah. So as I started, I've been like really a computer guy my whole life. When I was barely 10 years old, I got my first ever computer. It was a Commodore 64. And I love that thing. I played video games on it, and I learned a computer program. Do schoolwork on it. I mean, I can remember the old school word processing and printing. Oh, those dot matrix were fun. And then the 90s came. I was in high school when the 90s started, and I graduated high school in 1993. I started college a year and a half later, 94. But I even was using that Commodore 64. I don't know why I didn't use it too much in college, because I pretty much went to a Sega Genesis after that, which is just video games. But I never did get like a normal, like non-Commodore computer until, well, the next year, like 95, and that was a 46DX4 100. And then the internet would come slowly after that. You had the because of the dial-up internet. Although the first internet I ever used for a okay period of time would have been on a high speed like it is today, to a degree. I can't remember how fast it was, but almost as fast as I'm used to, I suppose. And this is like 1995, where I would just go on a computer at like the high school, college, and one college room, where the computer room is, and a lot of times you just go. This is what I found interesting, because back then in like 1997, well 95 even too, but 97, you just type a randomthing.com and just see what would come up, and then you just go to the places that you know, like a hockey fan, tsn.ca, see what comes up. And I can remember what tsn.ca looked like in 1995. It was damn cool. But just for something to do, and I'm thinking, is this the way the internet is today? I guess it is. And I'm sure with parents and everything, I guess you need to have these programs to ensure that people just can't type it. But for the first time in probably 20 years or 15 years, I actually typed sex.com. And at least what I got on my end, I'm like, wow, that's not interesting what they show. Okay. I'm thinking 10-year-old, 8-year-old kids can be typing this, yada, yada, yada. What would the internet be like when I was that age, kind of? If I was 20, 30 years older, how would I have acted if I was 10 years old today? But anyway. So throughout the 90s, again, I was using like the Sega Genesis was my play. Then Commodore was my play before that. But got into that type of 4060 X4. And I can remember in 1999, I got a nice little Pentium, and I got it for $1,000. What a deal! I even got another disk drive. It was one that could have 100 megabytes instead of your 1.44. But it worked out great, because the school that I went to at the time in Toronto also had the 100 megabyte drive. That's the reason why I bought it. And throughout the late 90s, early 2000s, I mean, I wasn't a computer technical geek, but I knew it quite a bit in computer college classes. It's interesting, but first semester, I didn't own a computer, and just computer theory about like just like the textbook information, if you will. There was a textbook course and an actual do your work on a computer course. Semester one, I got like 85%, 90%, like on the, I was just working on the computer. So I'm like hands on, great. Yet the theory stuff, or just yeah, theory, not what, or textbook stuff, I got like 60%. I was very embarrassed with that number because all my other grades were like 75, like 72 to 75 was the worst percent, and 80, 90% was common. So second semester came in, I got my computer pretty much right around the in between the break between semester one and two. And then next thing you know, second semester, the next class of it, level two computers, same thing as my practice or my computer part as far as not practical, but the, I guess like the hands-on stuff, like another 80, 90%. But the theory stuff for the textbook stuff, I was also getting 80, 90%. Because now that I was actually with using a computer, I could understand like all those things back then. But I'm so far behind today. What it was like, because it's so much changed in the whole textbook information stuff. I don't care too much about. So for pretty much the whole 2000s, I've just evolved within the times. Whatever the new computer was in '01, I'd buy. Then I bought a new computer and like buy laptops in like '05. I'd buy a new one. Maybe 07 or '08. Maybe 2012. And then I bought a couple computers that just didn't work. And then this last computer I bought now, I bought in 2017. Now I'm looking to get another one again. So spent quite a bit of time on that, but not often do I ask for a request because, I mean, how can you help me kind of deal? Like, yeah, you give me the thumbs up, that's great. And you give me the comments, all that stuff is all yada yada. And then you could do things like even give me Bitcoin donations or gifts. And really, I mean, you can see I don't really need them. But I mean, stuff like this where I could really use the help like that, I do appreciate it. So if anyone can give me any recommendations and any places that accept cryptocurrencies like Overstock maybe or wherever, like because that will probably be the way that I would pay. I could pay credit card. I really don't want to though, but I easily can as well. But it's just my crypto portfolios got to balance out a little bit better. But again, I'm taking an aggressive chance because that silver gold roll that I showed, it could easily be three, four, five times that, and I'd still have a lot left. I mean, there's still a lot left. But I'm thinking, you know what? I know this rally's going to happen. And a lot of the reason why I do want to just buy this is I look at it this way. What happens if I'm wrong and cryptos go down and I get this order and I'll be, okay, I'll be happy I got what I got as far as pulling out. But what happens if the markets go up? Bitcoin goes to 70, 80, 120,000 like I think it will. Litecoin goes to 2,500, 2,015, all those big numbers. This and these other coins go up here and up here and up there and up that. Well, that's going to be amazing because I've left myself with an amount where I'm, oh my goodness, now I'm really going to think about doing an order. Okay, now do I do a 10-ounce order of gold? Do I do a monster box of this, whatever? I mean, it's just. And I was thinking about buying monster box like a long time ago. There's going to be coming a time. Because when we get to Bitcoin 130, 120, whatever, and I do believe that's going to happen, I've thought for years we're probably going to get there, and I really don't know what's going to happen after that. And I still don't know what would happen when we get there, so I'd have to be an aggressive seller. But until then, I'm just going to make small purchases. And within silver, I've liked today's rally. We come down the 18 average of lows like this, and now we break us. This is a big situation. How can this be able to hold? Because I'm looking for two things big here. One, how can this play within a retracement mode from this low to this high? The high being the one that comes in at 30, 40. Let's pull up some Fibonacci. And within it, we got and this is just 34 right in the area, 2374 I've seen. So key numbers, yada yada at the 2517, but 2610 and 27 and 2/3. So the 2517, that's where we are with the yada yada number. See, that's to try to end the downtrend from this move. So if it gets to this, the next key level I know is going to be up at about 26, and it's going to probably pierce extra. So it's probably going to get up towards where this resistance high was. And then after that, we got 27 and 2/3. So it's probably going to pierce extra if it gets there too, which is roughly to this high here. So it's got to get above those two keys highs will just coincide within fib, the last two previous lower highs. And it's got to hold. It's got to hold and stay below this for this selling to be a real move. But this bull market, I think this bull market on silver is going to happen. We're going to have some great plays. Now, obviously, what I would prefer to happen is over the next, say, 2-3 months would be for this to go down, cryptos to go up. then I'd have a bit better. But does it really matter? Silver goes to like 30, 40, and then Bitcoin and all this stuff does whatever. I'll just buy then. It's just the way it goes. So the second thing for Fibonacci I would be looking for is a very, very short term, and really at two different levels. One from this low to this high, and then from this low to that same high. As I even from this high here rather. So from this low to this high and this low to this high in here, which is the intraday high. If of course we make a lower high, meaning we come up here, if we break. Oh, what an interesting! I haven't even looked at the hour chart till now. But if this area breaks down, then the key Fibonacci, and we don't break above this resistance, then the key Fibonacci short term from this to this, and holding pretty much in the area of about 25 even, it would be very, very huge. If it doesn't, you'd be looking at a failed breakout, but I don't think that's the case. And in looking at this, normally I'd be thinking, oh my goodness, I want to buy silver. Should I try to time this perfect? It doesn't really matter. Bitcoin controls the ratio market. So, and I'm just making a small purchase, and the fact that it's a decent sized number like that, it's just an interesting situation. Alrighty then. So, weekly term time frame for silver is just a very interesting range we've been in. Any type of rallies would just bring us up to this upper range of it. We're kind of in the sort of maintaining higher lows to a degree, this low compared to this low. But this low and this low is kind of matching, but it really didn't spend much time down below there March 20 the 9th. 20 the 9th, does that make sense? Whatever. Okay, so getting it above this, I mean, if it holds like this and you see it breaking and doing a good rally, 28 to the 29 level, you know what? I'd be thinking it's going to go much higher. Sky high fly kind of move, especially when we look at this from the monthly term time frame. And then you could easily see like 35, 36, 40 in like no time. That's just how the market works. Let's move on to Doji. And I'm going to show it against Bitcoin. And I'm going to do multiple time frames starting with the shortest. Going to the monthly. So we'll start with the 5 minute. I mean, I could do one, but don't want to. It's like, well, let's do one and then, I mean, that's just, yeah, it looks like that. So it's had a good run. So for me, I got into this good, nice. I got basically I got into it at 100 area, 101 to 105. So I'm getting some nice games, and I'm really starting some distribution today. I'm waiting to sell. I want to sell some more against Teslas right now. Or no, I already did sell some, I think. No, I just did that one. I want to sell some for Theta Fuel, but I want to do it at 180 or so or more. So I made my deposit as was rallying, and either it's going to go up and I'll sell it. It's going to go down. I'll just deposit back in my wallet. In fact, if it goes down, I'll probably get a few couple of buybacks, which is pretty cool. Because what a beautiful move this has been. Had a beautiful sideways range all day today, between like one of the 140s, and to get there, I mean, this morning it was like 120. This thing has just had a fantastic move amongst the daily term. But yeah, I want to do multiple time frames. Well, I'm going to get to the daily. I guess let's go to the hourly. So there's the sideways consolidation for a bunch of days in the 120s. And then you can, and I seen this. I did see this before, and I got some family members into Doji at 120 average as well. So I'm glad that's going on. And if this breaks out high tomorrow, okay, yeah, let's sell this amount tomorrow. I mean, if it goes to say 240 Satoshi or whatever, it's like, yeah, maybe sell like a 30 tokens. Let's maybe buy some Tezos or some Polkadot, or maybe you want to buy some real items with it. It's doing good. Stuff like that. That would be the type of verbiage that would be used. But a fantastic move that it's been having, and you can just have this level of resistance. I like how it supported this level of resistance that it's had for the April resistance early part with support in here. And now if it comes back down, maybe 133, but that depends on how big this move we're going to have is going to be. For 100, there's a line there. It's a major level. So I'm going to keep it there. But we had this, I mean, what a big move this was, going from like 25 all the way up to like 200 and change. That's like an 8-9x move in only a few days. That's just crazy stuff. Weekly term time frame. Okay. I mean, for years in these crypto markets, we had 2017, the magnificent year. Bitcoin tops in December near 20 grand. And then January comes into play. Well, before January, around December 10th, 12th, around that area, 4th even. First week, second week of December. All these other altcoins are just, oh my goodness, look at them go. Ethereum, Doji, all these other coins, they're just all going sky high fly. And it worked out that January 10, 12, 15, 20, maybe January 4th. Each coin a little bit different. LITECOIN was a December one, actually, where it hit its high. But around that time, they all top together. But then from that moment on, and we're going to see it now on. But I like how this is breaking it with this side. I mean, if this gets going, I mean, you have to see on the monthly. Let's take a look at how big this can be and explain what this means. Now, 2017, yeah, the high. Let's see look at what January looked like. See, it came up to this high here in January, which was against Bitcoin a little lower, but against the dollar was a bit higher. So it meant that if you were a trader and you're like looking at your portfolio, it should have worked out perfect to have a good distribution level, at least get enough time in the sense that if you're an altcoin player, you would have been like maybe what's the word I should be using? It's because I not like this. Oh man, you're like jealous. You're jealous of the fact that Bitcoin holders are kicking ass and you're not. But now all of a sudden, what happens in like December, January is all these coins go 3, 4, 5, 8x higher against the dollar. And then Bitcoin, I mean, Bitcoin was at 19,000 and changed at the high. Now you're looking at these big prices with $16,000 Bitcoin or 15,000. How do I not buy gold? How do I not buy silver? How do I not cash out a little bit and stuff like that? And I think with this, for the crypto market right now, we're going to be there again. But to me, that's when Bitcoin gets to like 125,000, Litecoin 2,500. And I'm going to go through the process of calculating all the coins that I own where the upside targets are. Doji will be one of them. I haven't calculated that point yet against the dollar, and I'm not going to in this video. But I want to talk about the Bitcoin theory in this because Ethereum, Litecoin, same sort of deal. Litecoin, Bitcoin as well too, where you just have a long-term range resistance of what the ceiling and floor is. And for Doji, the ceiling is 100 with decent pierces above a few times. And the ceiling is near 20, 30-ish area. Or the floor, rather. Up to even the 20 to 35, 40 area. So that's been the range. Now, what this means to me, it's either going to do one of three things. It's going to stay in that range, and that's just the way it goes. And maybe we have some pierces above and belows here and there, but we're pretty much going to primarily be in the range. Number two, it's going to break it to the upside or it's going to die. If it dies, that means it breaks down below the support of like 20-ish. Maybe it's resistance, and we go into 10, 5, 2, 1, 1/3, 1/4. Or we can go to decimals on that with whatever exchanges are selling it against other. Or maybe Doji is going to be traded against like other cryptos just because it's the only way you can do it. Or it's against the dollar. It's like 1/26 of a penny when it crashes, and it goes to nothing, of course. Or it just becomes phenomenal. And maybe if that's the case, I'd be looking for the area of about 60, 50 up to this like 120 area to be support, which is what it's attempting to do right now. It's gotten above it because it's either that or it's a wild Pierce Extra because we're in period number 4 on the monthly of being above 100. And the history of it since its first time, since 2014 even, it resisted barely getting above it. It resisted one base point lower here, and here it has a portion of one period, and here it has the first period goes through, and then for one full period it pretty much, I don't know, since some of the time you can see there's a wicked line going lower here as well, but it spends basically okay but not that much, and then twice more it barely pierces above it. What an upgrade now. 18 average rising, so that's why. And another big thing would be Fibonacci support from this low of 16 to whatever the high happens to be, currently set in at 226. So just for something to do, let's do 226 divided by 16. And let's get my fib calculator up. And I'll even give you an upside target for Doji against the Bitcoin too while we're at it. But the key levels is 44 that's got to hold and stay above. So for this rally to be a failure, it's got to break down below 44. That's a huge retracement for what could be a successful large price correction. And the 38.2%, has it already had it? It probably has. 82 maybe, not quite. Let's just take a look at the daily again. No, it hasn't had a move to 82. Close, 90, 91. And given that it hasn't had it, I see it moving up like this. Oh, this could be scary, dangerous, big time rally. And a lot of times with Theta, I talk about how I'm short selling. I'm kind of doing the opposite with Dogecoin. And this could cost me. I don't care though. Meaning I might run out when this gets like 3, 4, 5, 600, and I don't care. Because I'll just sell everything if it has just some sort of explosive rally. I'm just playing around with this, hoping for some aggressive gains if this can have some fun volatility. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. Upside target. So what I want to do is I want to see a good rally, which of course this is, from this low to this high. And I want to know what the 61.8% correction is, which I know is 44. So I'm going to do 226 divided by 44 to the root of 1.618, and I'm going to multiply 44 again, and that will give me a level of 621. So I have an upside target for Doji to probably get to like 750 when you consider what the Pierce Extra would be. Maybe even that 1,000 number, 850, 920, 940 kind of deal. But that is an interesting situation if something like that is to come into play. Um, and then you can almost say maybe I want to use a high a little bit lower and maybe 500. You might, oh, I'm like that game. I'm going to conservatively sell near 500 or 485. I don't care if it goes to 620. I mean, you got better chance of getting your sell order filled that way, but you're not going to get as big of a gain if you don't hold out for like 650 or 700 kind of deal. All right, let's. I don't think there's anything more I really want to go over now. Let's just take a look at. Is there anything else going on in the crypto business? 7% for Bitcoin Cash. This is, and I'm slowly. So I don't like Bitcoin Cash for what it's worth, and because of that, I'm like grinding my way out. But I need this to have a move up to like 1,500 before my next sell lot. I'm pretty much getting out of it. Actually, I'm just not a big fan of it. I know it's probably going to do well and kick ass. I'm just not a fan of it. Really, it's. I just don't like it. A lot of things I'm not a fan of. Mona is just a day trade. Tesla's up 3.3. It's not much, but does it have any upward movement? It's hitting some fib lines pretty nice here on the daily. Okay, I mean, wow, if this breaks. You hit this resistance point on around Valentine's Day, which is key fib. Very good correction. Exitation of the 18, the attempt to exit above the 18 average, which has been a successful one, occurred on March the 29th. Exitation was March 31st and the 1st of April. And then we had one leg higher correct it, another leg higher correct it. Then it done another one, but it's like, yeah. And this is interesting because I've seen this occur. When you see something like this, and you can, I mean, after the fact, you look at this now, it's just, you see this in the future, well, this can tell you a lot. Why did this move when it broke not only hit 1180 but even break above it? Like go to like 12, 1210, 1230 or whatever even higher. Why didn't that happen? And we're going down. We should. I mean, it doesn't sound right, but it is. It is. It is. These things usually pierce extra. Well, your answers is just not ready yet, and it did pierce extra. So just a mini yada yada correction, one red candle bar down, and really two. Really on it was on its third. This was a green candle at one point, the one that went above it. So there was a period where it was three green candles in a row, and now it has been four red down. And with this day here, it's got the potential to do five. But if not, if it goes up, it'd be an exitation of the 18 average of highs after the correctionary move. Not coming back to where it come from, but it doesn't have to either. Where it came from would have been the range of 850 to about 912. But you can almost say it came back to this little level, but I don't really want to count that. These are more key resistance levels of the past, at least for this time frame. But this is like a double bottom almost. You know, this low is barely higher than that, but it's pretty much it's a well move because this has been really going on since like November, late November when it came down. And you can even go as low late as early November within this support in here. But a move breaking above this, we're talking a move probably piercing greater than 1865, and it looks like the probability odds for this move is extremely high. So therefore, for me, and one of the things that I was looking at earlier too, at least amongst the family trade, was this is what I said Sunday, which is 2 days ago. This is Hadara. Might be not be a bad idea to sell, and this is good too, but sell a little bit of Hadara. I mean, it's 610 Satoshi. What price did you buy it at? What down in here? Yeah. You bought it during this range. You've had a good gain. You've already had a couple good trade levels here. And I don't know what this thing is going to do. I mean, it's looking good now. But it was in this very much kind of who knows decision. It has made a statement in today's session with it. Oh, this is just an amazing move in here. It's done this and this. That it's going to have a good move. But so a little bit of this, and it would have been at around 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, which is the 11th. It would have been around here, where it was like 594, 595. And then buying Doji at 120. So far a better trade. And then, but back then Doji looked damn good and it's obviously it made it, but I was looking at Doji on Sunday, and Sunday at 2 o'clock, which is, it's 120ish or so. At 123, probably around here. Would have been around here. This is what the market was looking like then. So I was like, okay, this to me looks like it's going to be starting to pump up and go higher. And well, considering it's at 168, yeah, it kind of has. So markets do what markets will do. And let's just finish it off with Cardano. I didn't think I was going to do this many coins. Same thing here, man. This thing looks good. It was in this little sideways range, but what does the story here say? I don't really need these lines in here. These are old school. I don't want them there. They're in the way. What does this tell you? Well, we've been in this range for quite some time. And when we look at tops and bottoms and all that stuff, so we have this top, and then we support the lows. It goes above the highs. And when it goes above the highs, that's an attempt to get things going. And then, okay, how's this correctionary phase going to be? And, well, it did all this. So, no, that attempt failed. It did have fantastic support for so long and so boringly with micro volatility for 5 days. And then it got up to here. The combination of because 18 average is really a tight band. You can say maybe it's the same as like it's close to an 18 average of highs test to a combination of a potential breakout, a little bit of both if you want. But we're still lower than this high. But hey, it's a resistance test. How do we handle this support test? Well, another 18 lows test that passes, the third in a row. This is a pretty good damn setup right now on the daily. And this here tells me the probability odds for decent gains with everything that has happened within it, because of the range beforehand, because of the fact it's been this amazing gain. We had this, and then you get like meh corrections that are small. Then you get the nicer ones. Meh. This is even a smaller meh here. This is another meh one. But this, the combination of this, is not a meh correction. At least for this time frame. On the other ones might say, when you look on the weekly, monthly, it might look like a meh one. But from here, compared to these ones, it's a meh one. Sort of like the moon is smaller than Earth, and Earth is smaller than like Jupiter, and Jupiter is smaller than the sun, and whatever, and the sun's smaller than things that are bigger. So it's had a very fantastic move from the start of the year, but this was like 555 Satoshi or whatever, so we got like 4x higher right now. These things could easily do like 10, 100x moves, 50x moves, and I've said this way back in the past. When these things are ready to go, they can go. On the weekly term time frame, you probably know the first two words start with the letter S that I'm going to say here for what the market is doing. The first two letters start with S. The market is showing strength amongst the 18 average of highs. I mean, okay, whatever. It is what it is. I mean, whatever. I mean, I might have said that a few times before in the past. I think one example of that might have been with Bitcoin. What time frame was that on? Is that on the Was it here? Yeah, I think it was here. This was like, yeah, whatever. This is. And I remember making a video, yeah, whatever. This is just showing strength amongst the 18 average. I was take it for whatever it's worth. Well, since then, one, two, three, four, five, six consecutive months higher. Currently, it's up, off to an okay start. It could be the break this month, might not, might, but who knows? When again, this might be seven. It's up 7% or 7.8% right now. But before the 7 months of going higher and now getting extended nicely above the 18 average of highs, it had 5 months where it showed strength amongst the 18 average of highs. Now, it really never, the best was here because here it was just resisting the highs, then it broke out, then it supported the highs. And so you look at the indicators that I use here. I got the 18 average, I got volume. Volume can help on so many different levels. So easy to put it. And it's not really distracting because I look at what some people do and they have all these different things. I mean, I'm looking at, again, a 6 foot television, but I want to put everything on one TV. But I've been in the poker scene before. I've seen the trading scene. I know what they do with like three, four, five, six different computer screens. I can't do that. I mean, I got two, but one. I mean, I got the Blue Jay game watch. I got a Blue Jay game on. I'm watching the computer, so I got two screens. But yeah. Anyway, it's been a fantastic run amongst the cryptocurrency game. And I don't really think I got much more to go over. Oh yeah, there is one thing. Basically, this is what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to do major like renovations, and I am been doing them right now, or at least paying for them and getting them done anyway. Okay. And one of the things I want to get done for a room area is the following. And this is what I want to get. I have nothing. Nothing. I got a few DVDs. That's all I got. And I don't have any VHS tapes. I don't have any video games. But I want to get a good television, old school one. One I can plug a VCR into. One I can plug a DVD player in. A PlayStation, a Nintendo, and a Sega Genesis. So something made at the end of the 90s, start of the 2000s, basically. Maybe a Commodore 64, but I don't think so. It's, for what it's worth, I don't need to do it. The computer programming is so old school, not needed. And all the video games are better off in the Sega Genesis. And then just to make the room look good, if I can find whatever good here, like just to make the room look nice. And I don't even know what I'm going to be doing as far as how I do videos. Even considering you could even do different podcasts and different types of miscellaneous stuff. Especially now when I get a Macintosh computer, I can just try to do things. But that means a lot of different changes. One of the changes I want to do is get off of YouTube and some sort of other site. And I mean, I know there's I forget the name of it. So the most popular one that's so new that you put just like short videos on. Not it's a TikTok or something like that. I can't remember. But that's really want to get into as I am. And as far as other miscellaneous things, like I don't know if I can do like other game room or something. I don't got the largest of spaces, but I kind of got an okay amount though too, so I can probably put a pool table, not pool table, yeah, pool table. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe somewhere in a corner as well too, just different things. But those are the different things that I am looking as far as getting done. So this is a very long video that is now at its completion. So thank you for any comments, and I'm going to look forward to any information. Look at like any type of links. I know it's tough to put in links, but I'll try to see if I can find a way to. But even just like search this, like I can copy and paste whatever into Amazon, into Google, and stuff like that. And yeah, take care. Bye bye.